Welcome to the standard superhero universe. It's a reality built on a comforting premise. Heroes have agency, and villains have motives you can understand. Whether it's a tyrant conquering a planet or a rogue seeking revenge, the rules make sense. We call this the indicative reality. But those rules shatter when that reality is swallowed by an entity that doesn't want to conquer you because it views your entire galaxy as nothing more than a meaningless petri dish. This specific brand of existential dread is the foundation of cosmic horror, a genre pioneered by writers like H.P. Lovecraft. The collision of superhero logic and Lovecraftian dread turns a simple fight for justice into a fight for the existence of sanity. In this genre crossover, the hero's greatest weapon, their will, becomes a liability against a force that feeds on focus and belief. Enter Shuma Gorath. He is the ruler of the Old Ones, a being who has existed since the dawn of time, lurking in the dark, formless voids between universes. He is what's known as a many-angled one. To understand how terrifying that title is, we have to look at the physics of his existence. When Doctor Strange or the Avengers fight a giant, one-eyed mass of tentacles, they aren't fighting Shuma Gorath. They are fighting a 3D shadow. Think of a higher dimensional object passing through a flat two-dimensional plane. The beings on that flat plane only see a tiny, disconnected cross-section of the whole. That cross-section is the tentacled shell we see. If Shuma Gorath were to force his true, multi-dimensional mass into the prime Marvel reality, the sheer pressure of his existence would shatter multiple galaxies. The universe would literally be crushed to dust under his weight. This makes him entirely different from a standard conqueror. He is a force of reality-warping chaos, the subjunctive what-if made manifest, threatening to unravel the laws of physics themselves. You cannot defeat Shuma Gorath in a physical brawl. Every punch thrown at him is just chipping away at the very tip of an infinite interdimensional iceberg. Shuma Gorath faces a persistent paradox. He cannot occupy the space he rules without shattering it. To bypass this physical limitation, the many-angled ones rely on an entirely different type of siege. This siege takes the form of a generational rot, using the dark knowledge left behind by ancient vectors, like the elder god Cthulhu, to bridge the gap between dimensions. This knowledge was bound into physical texts, primarily the indestructible Darkhold. It acts as a beacon, a literal tear in reality that invites these other entities to seep slowly into our world. Every single syllable in these texts acts as a corrosive agent, rewriting the biological and mystical laws of the universe. The Darkhold birthed necromancy, created the first vampires, and cultivated human cultists who unknowingly carry out their bidding. Shuma Gorath doesn't need to deploy an armada of spaceships. His weapon is a slow, pathological rot. He uses humanity's own hunger for mystical power to convince them to pry open the doors of reality from the inside. Imagine if those doors open completely, and the Lovecraftian rules permanently overwrite the superhero rules. Marvel Comics explored this exact nightmare scenario in the Thanos Imperative, with a realm known as the Cancerverse. In this parallel universe, a ritual was performed that achieved the ultimate superhero goal. Nobody ever dies again. Because in the Cancerverse, death itself has been killed. But without death, life mutates endlessly, expanding like a tumor. This created the perfect environment for the many-angled ones to fully enter the dimension. They took Earth's protectors and twisted them into corrupted monstrosities known as the Revengers. When normal heroes cross over into this space, the psychological toll is immediate. They face a relentless onslaught of hopelessness and isolation, pushed to the brink of madness by an enemy that defies logic and cannot be killed. The Cancerverse realizes the grim thesis of this invasion. When the void consumes reality, it replaces a hero's agency with eternal servitude. They become the very thing they were born to prevent. On Earth 616, the stakes rest on a knife's edge. Shuma Gorath remains an eternal, unrelenting pressure against the fragile glass of our reality. You cannot permanently kill him. You cannot put him in a supermax prison, and you certainly cannot reason with him. He is a permanent fixture of the multiverse. In a universe populated by super soldiers and literal gods, Shuma Gorath introduces a threat that renders physical strength utterly irrelevant. Consider Doctor Strange's constant vigil. He is a man holding a door shut against a hurricane that will never stop blowing. He knows Shuma Gorath is eternal, and the pressure is constant, yet he remains at his post, knowing his reward is a few more hours of peace for a world that has no idea he is even there. The ultimate heroism in the Marvel Universe is the choice to fight for the indicative reality, the world as it is, knowing that the only thing keeping the void at bay is the simple refusal to blink.